All right. So using the pen tool to draw a square, create a new file, really only needs one artboard, set the units to inches, doesn't really matter. Select the pen tool. Okay, so I'm going to go into Illustrator. Wish this thing would go away when I was done with it. Create new, letter size document. I forgot to set the units. I don't really care. Okay. So we're going to select the pen tool, and what you're going to do is click and release. If you click and hold, it does something completely different than if you click and release. I'm going to show you both ways. Watch this before you draw it. This is click and release. Click and release, click and release, click and release, click and release, click and release. Now that's not actually what I wanted it to do. I used the wrong pen tool. They added one called curvature tool. That's not what I wanted. That's pretty cool, but not what I wanted. I'm going to use the normal pen tool called pen tool. So click and release, click and release, click and release, click and release, go back to the start, click and release, and we're done. You saw what that did. It drew straight lines. However, if you click and drag, it starts drawing curves, right? Which is great, but you can get frustrated doing that. Once you have drawn a curve, you see these things, these lines that extend from it, those are called handles. You can use the white cursor to move the handles around. You can also delete the handles. If you don't want something to be curved anymore, you can then go, and I'm going to cover this much more carefully so you don't have to actually, be doing everything that I'm doing right now. I'm not expecting that yet. You can delete a handle and it gives it sharp points. So that's what we're going to be messing with. Go and grab the pen tool. Not the curvature tool like I just did, the pen tool. And we want to draw a square. So you're just going to click and release, and you know what I mean by click and release. You're going to doop, doop, and then move the mouse. Doop, doop, then move the mouse.
Hit it undo.
Oh, and there we go. Just for fun, I'm going to try to draw a triangle too. I don't think it's in my instructions, but there's nothing wrong with drawing a nice little triangle.
Okay.
You got to hook it up back to its original point or it's going to keep drawing.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like you got it going now.
Oh, man.
Click, release. What are you doing? Now, the click and the drag is the absolute wrong thing to do. I think I would undo everything and start it over because it's gone into some kind of weirdo mode. So let's undo everything and just do it again. All right. Go for it again.
Okay. Click and release.
Yeah. And then, yeah, go somewhere. Yep. Go down the bottom. Yep. Over. Go back to the original point. Now it should be a perfect square and it should have stopped drawing. Yeah, so you ought to be able to make a triangle or something.
Okay.
Hey, that's cool. Yeah, if you feel like it, you can draw a cube. But I want you to keep one of the original squares. All right, once you've drawn a shape, you can fill it with a color. It's actually a shape, just like you use the rectangle tool. So if you wanted, you could grab the black cursor, select one of these things, and change the fill color, the leftmost box, and change the stroke color. I'm going to fill this one yellow. Then I'm going to grab that one and fill it green or something. I don't know. Okay, so using the pen tool to draw straight lines, that's pretty easy. Now we're going to add curves. That's not so easy. I shouldn't talk these things up. This is just as easy, right?
Did you use to put the color
Black cursor, select the shape, and then go up here.
Select the shape. And then go up.
Yep.
Hey, cool.
Also, if you wanted to change the width of the pin, you could do that there as well. You see where it says stroke? Just dial that up. You could change the color of the pin. Since that one's the fill, this one's the color. So now we're going to try to draw a rounded square. This is the weird one. I'm going to show you how you do it on the board. Watch my hand. Click. Well, I better follow the instructions. Exactly. With the pen tool selected, click but don't release. Click and drag. So click, go towards Florida. Then click, go towards New England. Click, go to Vancouver. Click, go to Baja, California. Then go back to your original spot, click and drag, and you are done. So we're going to use click drags rather than just click releases to get it to work. I'll demo it again, and then I'll do it slowly for y'all to all play together. Okay, so the same pen tool. It's cheating to use a curvature tool. Nice that they have that there. Need to add that. Okay, so I'm going to click and drag. You see what I did? I went southeast. I went northeast, northwest, southwest. Then I went back to my original shape like that. Okay, and that's the world's worst looking rounded square, but you got the idea. I made a blobby shape rather than a square shape. When I've done that, I can use a white cursor to adjust the shapes. And so you just have to get used to that. That is a weird thing right there. And this is totally different, I believe, than your paint programs allow you to do. Your Photoshop tools, although they may have added this. You know, they're always making Photoshop the world's best image editor.
It's almost a circle.
Yeah, I made a circle on mine. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to do it a little bit more carefully. Okay, so back to the pen tool. What happened is I drew my my dragged lines too large. That's why it looked circular. So I'm going to click, pull down just a little bit, and release. That creates an anchor point with two handles. The handles control what way the line is going to go. And then click and go to the northeast a little bit, you know, upright. Then go up here somewhere and click and go up left a little. Then go over here and click and pull down left a little. Then go back to your original anchor, pull and go a little bit to your original direction, and you are done. So click the black cursor to stop drawing at that point. Cool, that one actually looked pretty good. Now we're going to be cutting these things apart with knives, so you may as well make copies of them when you draw them. That's not the most important thing yet, but okay, so since the curves are a little bit more challenging than the straight lines, I'm going to make sure that everybody's got the idea.
Do you have to undo every click?
Looks like we almost had it going there. I'm going to click this to deselect it, and then I'm going to go back to the pen tool, and I'll demo it for you. And then, okay, click and drag, release. Click, drag, release. Click, drag, release. Click, drag, release. Click, drag, release. And it looks like I missed it just like you did. So, all right, maybe I can get it to work this time. You have to actually get it to touch it before you do that, and then it stops it. So you got real close, but you didn't. Yeah.
Because I was just doing it.
You're using the curvature tool. You're using the other pen tool. All right. So you've got the pen tool selected, and let's look at a shot. Oops. Click, pull down. Yeah. If you make it huge, it's going to be really weirdly curvy. I would think it's just very small, smaller than that. on that part? Okay, well, go ahead.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
now click and release. Yeah. And come up here, click and drag again. Click and drag. Cool. Now, since you're making big lines, it's really curved. If you make it short, you make smaller corners in case of release. And go back to your original one. So give that a couple of shots. Hey, you're not the gun. You weren't clicking and dragging though. You were click release, click release.
Let me try.
Yeah. All right. So
Click.
don't let go. Don't let go. Click, hold it down.
Okay. Click, drag.
Yep. And then release. Then go to the other corner. Do the same thing. Click, keep it down. Okay, that time you didn't drag it, but that's okay. Release it.
That's what I.
And it's okay. It's okay. Just keep going.
No, I'm gonna start.
All right. Keep the mouse button down until okay there. Yep. Then come to the other corner, and then keep it down. Yeah, you got it. The bigger the lines you draw, the blobbier it looks. So that's why yours is going to look really blobby, and that's okay. The first one, release. Go to the other corner. Yep, and go back to the original one. Yep, click and drag. Yeah, you're good to go. You got it.
Almost.
Yep, yep. Just practice that. Draw a couple more, but when you're clicking and dragging, make very short lines rather than long ones. So
Okay.
less blobby. I see sunglasses. Whenever I get frustrated, I just delete them and start over.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
All right, so now remember to make the lines very short. That's a huge line. Let's undo that and do a short one. Just like pull us a half inch. Yeah, there you go. And go somewhere else. No, don't grab that line. Just go to another. Yeah, actually, I'm going to demonstrate for you. Yeah, you got it now. You got it. Click and drag again. Okay, now go up to another corner. Click and drag. Nope. See, you're trying to pull the line.
Oh, I need to.
I do want to grab the mouse and show you. I know that you almost got the idea, but so I'm going to go. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Oh.
Stop. And then go back to the original.
Okay.
Like that.
Oh, yeah, that's simple.
Once you get the hang of it.
No, it's not.
I tell you what, though, nobody gets, I mean, never does the entire class do it on the first try. So I always have to wander around. I'm happy to do so. So make copies of everything or draw several copies.
Oh, man.
Because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to learn how to use the knife tool to cut these things. And conveniently, they hide the knife tool under another button.
It's under a cutting blade or something. Wow.
Yeah. So what you're going to want to do is go ahead and make some copies of your shapes if you didn't draw a lot of them. You know how to make copies, just highlight. You can always option drag to make a copy of something. That's the fastest way. Or you just select it, choose edit copy, and then edit paste, and then put it somewhere else. Okay, so select a shape, any of your shapes, doesn't matter which one. And then grab the knife tool, which we said was hidden under, oh great, where is it?
Underneath the eraser.
I can't even find the eraser, my brain is scrambled. Up, that, is that the eraser? Okay, great, they've made that look more abstract than it used to be. All righty, the knife tool, not the scissors tool. And then, whichever one is selected, and it's pretty subtle right now because, you know, these blue lines are kind of interfering with my red border. I'm going to just change the color of the boundary so that it's easier to see. Okay, So select the shape, grab the knife tool, not the X-Acto blade, that's a slicer. Grab the knife tool and then cut a line all the way through it. Don't just cut it part way into it, all the way into it. Once you've done that, you can grab the black cursor, you can click on one of those blocks and pull it apart. Well, that didn't work, so try it again. All right, it's still not separating. Okay, make a liar out of me. What have I done wrong?
No, it didn't separate.
Where's that knife tool at again?
It's under the
Under the funny looking eraser, the little
eraser tool. So how'd you finally get it? Oh, you got it.
I did something that I shouldn't have had to do, which was double click on it and pull it out.
It's still not working for me.
Well, there's something I'm not missing that has changed in this most recent version. Let me try cutting that one. Select it with the black cursor. Can we ungroup it? Is that what's going on? No. All right, when all else fails, go back to the instructions. Use the selection tool. Then move the tip of the selection tool to one of the paths and then click and drag. Is that what I'm doing wrong? Yeah, probably. Okay, so with the selection tool, I should touch one of the edges, one of the paths and pull. Oh, come on. All right, so if you got to pull them apart and it's not working, you double click on it and then it goes into isolation mode where it says path. At that point, you can drag it off and then double click on the gray area to get out of isolation mode.
What'd you do for isolation mode?
Let me cut another one and demonstrate it. I'm in the knife. I'm going to cut my glasses in half. All right, I'm going to go back to the black cursor. Select one of the pieces and double click. That didn't work. Double click again. You'll be able to tell when it's in isolation mode because everything gets kind of grayed out.
Oh, there it goes.
And you see path.
Yeah.
So then you can drag it and then you can just double click on the gray stuff to get out of isolation mode. That's a new twist. Got to update my instructions.
So mine stayed selected. It's still grayed out, but it's
right. Then you come over.
Anymore.
If it's stuck that way, if it's stuck in isolation mode, then click on where it says layer 1 next to path.
Okay.
That gets it out of it.
It did.
All right. Something else we need to know is how to move the corners around. So after you've used the knife tool a couple times, just go ahead and hack these things up a little bit.
Well, knife tool's not working.
Let me come help. Sorry, I forgot to do walkabout. That doesn't always work, but sometimes you can cut a piece out like that. Okay. So you've got to select the piece first. Okay, select it on the knife tool. Now cut a line all the way from the outside, not starting there. Yeah, starting from white and ending in white. Now you're good to go. Go back to the black cursor and keep double clicking on it until you enter isolation mode. Okay, I believe you.
I got it.
All righty. So if you go to the white cursor, not the black. Firstly, select something with the black cursor. Select one of these things. I don't care which. Triangle will work. Go to the white cursor and select one of the anchors. Well, click and release to select just that anchor and then pull. And then go to another anchor. Click and release to select that anchor and then pull. Go to another anchor, click and release. Now you notice that when I click and release, it also puts a little circle in it. If you grab that circle and pull it, it makes a curve. I'm going to do that to this square. So I'm going to use the black cursor to select a square. I'm going to use a white cursor, click and release on a corner. I'm going to move that anchor. I'm going to click and release on another corner, move the anchor, and then I'm going to select the little circle that appears and change the curvature of it. That didn't look good, so I'm going to kind of undo it. You can also select one of the paths. And I'm going to walk about and make sure that everybody's got this. I'm going to select one more with a straight edge. And then I'll go to the white tool. I'm going to select a path instead of a corner. I'm going to select an edge. It's not letting me do what I was expecting it to do. Okay, that's fine. You can turn a rounded shape into a sharp edge shape by using a different thing and hitting under the pen tool. There's something called the anchor point tool. With the anchor point tool, go and select one of your rounded shapes. And I know I'm going too fast, so I'm going to wander around and make sure everybody's got this. And then grab the anchor point tool, select one of the anchors, and then you can drag the handles around to change the curvature. You can also delete that curvature just by double clicking on it. Watch that carefully. See, I'm going to select a curved piece like this one. In fact, I'm going to zoom way in on it. So I'm going to click on the anchor point tool, and then I'm going to click one of the anchors, and it deleted the handles. Not actually what I wanted to do, but so I undid that, but we see these handles now. We can change the curvature now. And if you don't like it being blobby at all, you just click and release the handle, and boom, it's gone, and now it's sharp edged. So I've taken that curvy shape, and I'm removing all the handles so that only anchors are left. So play with the white cursor, play with moving the anchors around. And then once you feel good about that, try the anchor point tool, which is hidden under the pen tool. So now I'm going to play with doing the same thing with text. So I'm going to grab the text tool and type something. I chose a nice big thick font for it. You can pick whatever font you want. Arial black, I don't care. Well, you have to select the whole thing first with the black cursor before you change the font. Then I'm going to stretch it out so it's nice and big. Now, before you can cut it, it has to be an object and it needs to be ungrouped. So to convert it to an object, I'm going to do type, create outlines. And really, guys, when y'all are done and save your document and upload it to the folder, you're done. We're done for the night. Then I'm going to do object ungroup. So you saw that I did type, create outlines. Then I did object ungroup. Now that that has been done with that text still selected, I can grab the knife tool, cut a line through them. Then with the black cursor, I can drag pieces apart. I'm going to deselect everything first by clicking on the whites, the paper, but then I can come back and I can click on the individual pieces and move them around.
So what did you just do different?
I haven't done anything different. I'm just recording this for posting.
Oh, okay.
Yep, yep.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I didn't want to miss it.
Yeah. If when you're moving it around, it seems to be resizing it instead, just zoom in first. All right. If you want to, you can colorize the individual pieces. So I'm going to select the bottom parts by clicking and dragging and change the fill of those. All right, that's enough. Save it and upload it. I believe this was assignment E2, pen and knife. All right.